Hi, this is Tracy from GiftBasketappeal, and today we're going to take these Dollar Tree containers and we're going to be Mod Podging these beautiful lemon napkins. So let's get started. I have really fallen in love with these lemon napkins, and these napkins I found at Tuesday Morning. And if you have not seen the other project that I did with these lemon napkins, I went and turned them into greeting cards. So I will post that video below as well so you can see that. So since I'm making matching containers, the first thing that we want to do is you want to just kind of make sure the surface of your container is clean. And we're going to go ahead and paint the surface white. And you may have watched some of my other videos where I've done Mod Podge techniques, or decoupage I should say. And so the reason why you're painting your container is because you want your napkin image to really be bright and vibrant. So I'm going to go ahead and paint my container, and all I'm doing is using some apple barrel paint. This is Snow White, and we're going to go ahead and paint 2 coats on each container, or you could also spray paint these white, so that's another option. And so once I'm done painting these, I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so my container is all dry, and I really like this vase. I like the shape of it because it's just basically straight. There's no like indentations or anything, so you can really apply your napkin. It should go on really easy, basically. So what I'm going to do is I've got my Mod Podge ready, and this is what I use. I just use the Mod Podge gloss. But you can use one of the other ones if you want to have a matte finish on it. I just like the glossy one. And so I've decided I'm going to do something different. Rather than cut my napkins, I'm going to tear them. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, because this is a 3-ply napkin, I'm going to find out where I need to pull this apart. So you need to pull both layers off of this. You got to be kind of delicate here and find out where the separation is. And there we go. Okay, so you want to pull that off because, of course, if you don't, you'll have a lot of wrinkling. I don't mind wrinkles, but if you leave that layer on, which I've done that before when I first started doing Mod Podge, I mean, you really get some wrinkles. Let's see if I can find the other part. I'm just going to kind of cut this for a moment just to kind of see where I can find an opening here. And sometimes you may have to just wet your finger just a little bit to pull it apart. But because this is not a 2-ply, which is usually what I use, this is a 3-ply napkin. So you see, there we go. Just want to make sure you get all those layers off. Okay. I'm going to keep this for something. I'm not sure what, but maybe to do some cleanup or something. I'll keep those extra parts of the napkin. So what you have to decide is, I'm going to be ripping these pieces apart and kind of Mod Podging them on the container, which is like different for me. I usually cut and then put it on real neatly. So I'm going to just kind of go with the flow here. And I saw this done in a couple of decoupage videos. And I kind of like the look of it. So I said, you know what, I'm going to try it and see. Because you just never know how something's going to turn out until you try. So I'm just ripping it apart. And you see how those edges are? I like that. That's how I want it to be. And this has a nice little a border, the yellow border, but I'm not going to be using that because I don't want it to have like these definite lines. I kind of want it to be kind of scraggly, if that makes sense. Okay, so you see how that is? Let me just see if I can. The nice thing is that you have better control over it because now you can position how you want to put it on your container. So that's nice too. So because I have this straight edge there, I'm going to just start at the top. So I'm going to just add some Mod Podge to the area that I'm working with, where I want that piece of napkin to go on. Just going to cover that area. Okay, and you also want to have some saran wrap handy so you can smooth your image on also. That way your hands don't stick to your image and rip your napkin. So I'm just going to start right at the top here. Just kind of go up to the edge. And I think this would be a fun technique because there's like, you can kind of like shape it as you go. There's no definite line, so you can kind of just rip and apply it basically. And you see I'm just going out toward the edge, starting in the middle and going out toward the edge of the napkin. It looks like I need a little bit more Mod Podge just around those, just to have this adhere. So I'm just going to take a little bit and just apply it right under here. And then just continue. And I'm loving this already. Let's see. Yep, and you just want to make sure you have enough on there to kind of cover. And it looks really nice with the white background. It just flows in there easily. No definite lines there. I kind of like that look. Everything doesn't have to be perfectly lined up. Okay, so that's our first one on. So that's basically what you're going to do. You're just ripping and then applying. And see how that looks? Look how pretty that looks just with that first one on. And so I'm just going to kind of like tear some up and then just, I'm going to go ahead and tear a bunch of these up and then just go ahead and apply them. Which you can do it as you go also. So I'm just kind of just randomly doing this. It's kind of fun ripping the paper. I think ripping paper is a stress reliever. It's all how you look at it. Get to ripping those napkins up. You see how I'm just ripping that off? I don't really want a defined line on there. So I'm just kind of ripping it away. Okay, and I could do this one at the top too because it has that line there. Okay, so I'm just putting more Mod Podge on here. And you can space them out. You know, they're not going to connect or anything. I'm just going to have them kind of spaced out a little bit in between. I'll show you in a minute. Okay. And I'm just going to take this now and just start at the top again. Take my saran wrap. Just want to make sure you can see that. And I'm just starting in the middle and just smoothing it out toward the edges. Smoothing it out toward the edges there. So you're just basically having fun with it. It's up to you how you want to position your napkin on here. It's up to you. You can position it wherever you want, however it looks good to you. It looks like artwork. And there it is with the other part on there. Look how cute that is. And I do have a bubble in there. It's actually let me smooth it out with my finger too. Okay. All right. Oops. Let me leave that alone. You see how I just ripped that? That's okay. It's not dry and I touched it with my fingers. So that's why you don't touch it with your fingers. So don't do that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. And I'm going to go ahead and rip a couple more of these up and then I'll come back and apply a few more. Okay, and so I went ahead and ripped out a few more lemons and I see a space right here, nice white space, that I can take this and Mod Podge it, like just going across, coming down, possibly like that. So you see I'm not being like real neat in this, and I think that's the whole idea, is to kind of not be neat with it. Just tear it away and apply it. So I'm just going to go right around here, a little bit diagonally. Okay, so you want to make sure you have a pretty good amount of coverage on there. And then I'm just going to go right along this area here, kind of diagonally. See how that is? Yep. I'm going to take my saran wrap and just brush it on. And you can fill this up as much as you want with, you know, your images on there. Like if you want to just tear away some of the writing, you can, and then just add it in there. It's, you know, so much you can do with this. I am having so much fun doing this. And I know you will too if you give it a try. Okay, look how pretty that is. And it kind of connects just a tiny bit in there. And I just need to kind of work on the bottom a little bit, but I'm just going to add a little bit on here. See, I missed a spot. So you can always go back, put a little bit in there, and then just continue. I am really loving this. And imagine this can be on a table, maybe a table setting with some flowers in it, which is what I'm going to do. You'll see at the end, I'm going to add some flowers to this. You can have this as a gift for someone. If you know they like a certain kind of thing, you know, maybe that someone likes lemons like I do, and you can just create something. Maybe there's, you know, there's tons of flower napkins. There's some with messages on it. There's so much you can do. These make really pretty gifts. If someone was to give this to me, I would just be so flattered just because someone took the time to make something for me. Okay. So imagine you got this for $1. The napkins were like $1.74 or something like that at Tuesday morning. Yeah, $1.79. I'm only using like one napkin. So you really made a gift, and you're using some paint and some Mod Podge. So possibly you're making a gift for about $2 because you're not using all the napkins, you're not using all the paint or the Mod Podge. So it really comes out to, you don't have to have a whole lot of money to make a nice gift. And it's really all about the thought that counts. Oops, I forgot to use my saran wrap here. And the nice thing is that if you see there's an area here, you can just rip another piece off. You don't have to use you can actually fit it yourself. You don't have to have all these big pieces and you're trying to fit them in. You can just keep ripping it, making it smaller so that it fits wherever you need it to. See this one? See, like this one right here. This one I think fits really good right in that space. Yep. This is so much fun. I hope that you all give this a try, and if you do, please post your creations on my Facebook page, Gift Basket Appeal. I love to see what you're making. Here's a nice party idea. Have a crafty party and just have a crafty party and get your friends together. Get a bunch of napkins, a bunch of containers. Look, you'll be the hit of the neighborhood, okay? That you're making something, you know? Instead of having a movie night, have a craft night. There's nothing like friends creating together. And that's how I feel about being on YouTube, is that we're just friends creating stuff together, encouraging each other, and having a good time about something that we're so passionate about. That's how I see you guys, as my friends. Okay, so I'm just spreading this out. Oops. What I did. I made a mistake. Oh no. It's not a big deal. Okay, and I am still smoothing this out, and I put a little bit too much Mod Podge on there, so I'm going to just kind of let that dry itself out and let it fix itself. Let it do its own thing. See, I kind of ripped that napkin there. Just going to take that off. Okay. Yep, I ripped the napkin. Okay. Let's see any other areas that I want to fill in. I think this area right here, I'm going to be able to squeeze maybe one lemon. Look, squeeze one lemon in there. Get it? Now, my hands are kind of sticky, so I want to make sure that my hands are not sticky when I'm ripping the napkin, because then my hands will end up sticking to the napkin. So you just want to make sure that you don't have Mod Podge on your hands. Okay, let's see. Maybe I want to put this one in there. Nope. Do this one right here. Yep. So I'm going to rip a little bit more away. I really love these napkins. So much you can do with it. It's just a fun project to work on. And I do a lot of crafts, but there's some projects that I just find to be just, and I mean, not that I don't want to challenge myself. I think you should always challenge yourself and get better. But I don't feel like being stressed like so much to the point where I just don't enjoy the process. So that's why I don't really worry about mistakes, because I feel like it's all part of the learning process. So look at that. And I haven't even put on like the final coat of Mod Podge. So I'm going to take a whole nother coat of Mod Podge and then just apply it. And someone had asked me if you can put like an acrylic sealer on it, like spray some sealer. And I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. I think it would still work. I've never had like a Mod Podge creation like start to peel off though. So I mean, if you want to put an acrylic sealer on there, you can. So this is what it looks like right now with those napkins on there. I'm going to let this dry a little bit, and then I'm going to go over it with another coat of Mod Podge, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so now that my Mod Podge is dry, I'm going over with a final coat, and I thought I would show you this. I'm just going over the whole thing, even the paint. Even the white painted part, I'm just going to go right over it and give it a nice even finish. And I like the texture and the dimension of this. It really looks artistic, and it has lots of character. So you can add gems to this. I'm still thinking about possibly adding some bling. I'm not sure yet. But sometimes I'll not want to add bling today, and then tomorrow I end up going back and adding some on there. So I'm being really generous with the amount of Mod Podge that I put on here. And of course it does look cloudy, but it is going to dry so clear and look so pretty. And you want to give it at least 24 to 48 hours to dry. And just be careful, like if some of your napkin decides it wants to come up, just kind of maybe just take it easy and kind of go with those outer edges so that they don't like come up from the container. And try to do it in nice, smooth, even strokes. Okay. And I'm just making sure I got everything. And then I'm going to come back and give you a look so you can see what it looks like, and you'll see what it looks like with the flowers. But I wanted to make sure you at least saw this process. And you see how cloudy that looks right now? But it's going to dry super, super clear. Okay, so our containers are all done. And I did end up adding just a little bit of gold bling. Kind of has a kind of yellowish, so it kind of goes with the lemons. And I just put just a little bit around the rim there. But look how cute that looks. And then here's the one without. I just decided to leave it plain. But just to give you an idea of what you could do. So those containers in the Dollar Tree, you can do so much with those, and napkins. You can make matching set. You can have these as gifts. I mean, there's so much you can do with these. And I have some flowers, and so you can add, you know, different types of flowers to these. Like this one, maybe put these mums in here and make a nice bouquet. If you're having like a luncheon or something, I think these would be really, really nice as a table display. So let's see what this looks like in here. Just kind of drop your flowers in there. Just, you know, arrange them however. I'm just giving you an idea for what you can kind of do with those, but I can arrange them a lot better than that. But I will post pictures at the end so you can see what it looks like. And then I also have these are from Dollar Tree. I also have the roses that are from Dollar Tree also. And you can drop some roses in there. I left the greenery on there, so it kind of brings out the green in the lemons. So look at that. And there's so much you can do with these. So I do hope you were inspired. Let me know if you would add bling to yours or just leave it plain. I think it looks nice both ways. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope you were inspired, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.